Hey, what's up guys, this is Astranox. Today I'm going to be talking about EDA, a brand new 5-star Ice Mage in Epic 7. I'll give you guys my thoughts along the way, right? Pros and cons and all that. Follow me on Twitch if you still haven't, guys. Let's look at her animation. This is from the official Epic 7 channel on YouTube. So let's go back here on the video. Her animation is real long, actually. It's like 6 seconds, maybe even more. And very fast paced, a lot of stuff is happening, a lot of effects. The Mage, looking great. I love her design. The staff, man, is massive. I love to play mages in RPG games. So Ice Mage, EDA, we're going to be seeing some artwork. We're going to be seeing, look at the staff floating behind her, is great, looking good in the lobby here. The artwork on the artifact, I'm really digging that. And look at the skill 1 animation here. The staff just floating behind her and like, oh man, I really like it. And the glow on the staff, look at that. That's crazy. It is crazy. So I'm going to be showcasing this hero. I'll be pulling for this hero. I don't know which account yet, but she's getting released on the 11th of March. This is it. That's the artifact artwork, right? The artifact, I'm not too sure about it. I'll give you guys my thoughts when we get here, when we get to that, right? So her stats, let me pause here. Ice Mage, Aries, Star Sign. Real quick, you want to know which catalyst that she needs? Well, I'll tell you. 16 Nightmare Masks, 36 Path Power Loops, 15 Blessing of Orbis. So, it's like Zerato and Champion Zerato. Those are the catalysts if you want to be prepared for that hero, right? Okay, the stats. Attack 1255, it's high. I don't know how much damage she can deal. Not sure about the multipliers. I'll test that stuff out for you guys. Don't worry about that. Health is on the lower side. It's to be expected for mages. Mages have more defense than health. That's the way it is. So low 5,000, 652 defense. That is high. That is good. So 106 speed. It's low. You know, speedy meta heroes, they have between 114 and 128 base speed. 106 is very low compared to that. So if you want to go first with this hero, you need speed memory imprint or imprints. You might even need to rely on a combationist booster to really go first. I mean, you know, to go first, to push EDA, and then she pushes maybe the slower heroes with her skill 3. More onto that in a minute. Crit chance at 27%. It's good. Skill 2 and 3 requires, you know, if you want to fully utilize her kit, she needs to land critical hits. Keep that in mind. Effectiveness 18%, that's good. She's got debuffs, and also she pushes back the combationist of the enemy, so effectiveness will be perfect for her. Attack for the team, you know, triple S, 10.8% attack. Doesn't affect herself, by the way, guys. Imprint concentration, now that affects herself. Effectiveness up to 27% at triple S. Let's continue here. We're going to see the skill number 3, which is extremely powerful. Skill 2, very surprised by how powerful and how loaded that skill 2 is, really. Now, she's ice, that's problematic versus earth, versus evasion-based heroes. When, you know, they have evasion buff and all that, you need to land critical hits with this hero. So that's something to keep in mind. Absolute 0. Skill number 3, acquire 3 souls, 4-turn cooldown after skill ups, releases energy to attack all enemies with a 85% chance to stun for 1 turn. Stun is extremely powerful, game-changing debuff right there. Increases combationist of all allies by 5% according to the number of critical hits made. Now, the more crits you do, the more combationist you get. Now, she could act as a secondary combationist booster. You could surprise slower teams with her pushing your team. Maybe you got Challenger Domino in there to start to pick them apart. Very deadly. You could have Cerise Bazaar, a bit of an enrollment to strip before her so she can stun. But if you don't have a stripper, you could use skill number 2. More onto that in a second here. So 4-turn cooldown, very powerful. It's not 100% chance to stun. 15% innate resist. She's ice. If she's missing, she's not landing that stun. And that means less critical hits, meaning less combationist for your teammates, right? She's got attack buff here. The damage that she's dealing is, it's not that high, guys. Fire Ravi, she's ice, she's going to be dealing more damage. Anyways, more onto that later. Cold Snap, skill number 2. Now this thing, acquire 2 souls, 3-turn cooldown. That is low. This is a very powerful skill. Attacks all enemies. She's got 2 AoEs, guys. With an explosion of ice, dispelling 1 buff before decreasing combat chance by a random amount between 5 and 20%. Now, if you land a critical hit, you can decrease combat chance by an additional 10%. So basically, if you're critting that target, you're going to be reducing their combat chance between 15 up to 30%. So that is pretty good, allowing your team to potentially go more often than the enemy. And that is extremely deadly, especially with a stun on her skill 3 and AoE stun as well. So the dispelling happens before the pushback of combat sureness. So that means if they have immunity and they don't have a barrier from a fallen Cecilia protecting that immunity, then you can take that right off and then push them back. So maybe you have Abyssal Crown and you land a stun. Maybe you're opening with skill 2 instead of skill 3, right? So it really depends. There's different ways to go about it. Now her Soul Burn, pay attention to that. Skill cooldown reduced by 2 turns. Now that is crazy because this actually affects skill 2 and 3. Now that means skill 3 has a 4-turn cooldown. This skill 2 has a 3-turn cooldown after skill ups. You reduce those cooldowns by 2 turns. This is a massive thing right there. In longer battles especially, you're gonna get that soul burn going. Maybe you're wearing a Tagil's Ancient Book on this hero to soul burn herself and another hero on the team, or maybe you don't want to soul burn because you feel like the battle is going to be a short one. Maybe you're soul burning on, you know, other 2 heroes, or going a big 20 soul burn. So yeah, like a very powerful skill right there. Cold Snap, watch out for that. Quite devastating if you know, you don't have that immunity set protected by a barrier. But the thing is, doesn't hit that hard too. This was like 4,000. Skill 3 was like 5,000. This is going to be a support hero, guys. Utilities. This is not a pure damage dealer. Like, that's something you have to understand. I will test her out, check how much damage she can deal, but this is a hero to cripple the enemy team and, you know, get your team to go more often, and you just like go more often than the enemy. So Icy Impact is her skill. 1 attacks the enemy with shards of ice with a 75% chance to make them unhealable for 1 turn. So this could be good in longer battles versus slower teams, right? They have some sustain. You're blocking that healing with that unhealable. You're getting effectiveness for free in RTA as the battle drags on. The frenzy's building up. So it's going to be maybe easier to land your debuffs if you maybe don't have that much effectiveness on her. So this is actually pretty decent, but it's mostly about the skill 2 and 3, I would say, for this hero. And yeah, there's definitely some pros and cons for this hero, and yeah, unhealable is great. You know, it can definitely be quite powerful in PvP. Now her artifact, I've got more stuff to talk about for pros and cons, so stay tuned for that. Let me just talk about this thing. Twilight Calamity, right? Increase critical hit chance of all allies by it's between 7.5% at plus 15 up to 10% at plus 30. Then you got effectiveness for the wearer, the caster, you know, whoever's holding this artifact. It's 22.5% effectiveness up to 30%. So, you know, this is like a less powerful Midnight Bloom in terms of crit chance that you're getting for the team. This gives crit chance to the wearer as well. And the effectiveness, I mean, it's a nice boost, but this is a 5-star artifact, guys. Like, I wouldn't be chasing something like that, especially maxing something like that, unless you're a well. Keep that in mind, right? Now, I want to go through some stuff that I wrote, right? Just to make sure that I'm covering all bases here. So, her design is amazing. Like, I talked about that already. Love the animation on skill number 3. They really dig in the staff, man. You know, the staff floating as well behind her and stuff like that. So she's going to be available on March, the 11th of March. So let's just go back here. Let's get that stuff going again while I go through these things, right? So she could be great versus slower teams because, like I said, you could be going more often than them because you're, you know, pushing your own team, you're stunning them, you're also pushing back their combat sureness. So very, very powerful stuff. Like, the more speed is apart between yourself, the more you have over the enemy, like this is gonna just like amplify that effect right there. Like, you're just gonna get more and more turns over them, and that could definitely be devastating because they won't be able to keep up with all that whatever you're throwing at them, right? So stun is extremely dangerous. Also, the push the whole team's combat shootiness with the skill number 3, allowing you to just go like boom, boom, boom. Unless you're fighting, you know, Earth or invasion-based heroes, that could definitely be problematic. Her damage could be fairly high. I'll have to test it out, but her soul burn is not boosting her damage. It's about, you know, having skill 2 and being used more often. And I would say that yes, she could potentially have some decent damage, but I'll find out. Tagil's Ancient Book Carrier, right? So that is good for herself and other heroes on the team. Very powerful soul burn, very, very strong. I have to like just like accentuate on that point. Like, that thing is just allowing you to basically use skill 2 and 3 like non-stop, like sort of like back to back. I think it's very close to that. There might be a 1-turn cooldown, but you're just gonna cycle those skill 2 and 3 really often because it's only 10 souls. So yeah, skill 2 is extremely crazy. She could surprise a lot of players if built quick. And she could be a quick game winning hero. Like, if you don't have immunity or using like Bazaar, Benevolent Roman, Therese to remove their immunity, boom, skill 3, stun. But 15% innate resist, evasion, earth heroes, missing your attack is rough. So to build her, right, set and immunity set. That's what I recommend. Maybe the 2-piece could be a hit set if you're sure that you're going first. But yeah, I mean, they could counterattack you. More onto that in a minute. Substats, I would go for a crit chance necklace because you need to have 100% crit chance on this hero. Maybe you got god substats, maybe you're getting the crit there. You could potentially go health percentage or defense percentage on the necklace. Now the ring, you need effectiveness. Like, you need to land your debuffs, you need to push back combat shootiness, effectiveness on the ring on the main stat, the boot speed main stat. Artifact, the Gil's Ancient Book, Abyssal Crown, you know, even if you got stun on skill 3, it's 85% chance. Maybe it gets resisted. Maybe it doesn't trigger. So you've got another chance with the Abyssal Crown, and then the skill 2 can stun 2, skill 1 can stun 2. Very dangerous, Abyssal Crown. Ayala's Valen, her own artifact. There's also the Unity artifact from Guild Wars, so that's 20% hit chance, right, to counter elemental disadvantage versus Earth. So instead of 50% chance of missing them, it's going to be 30%. Or if you have decreased hit chance debuff, you know, it's going to be 30% chance of missing versus non-Earth, of course. But if they're Earth, if you have decreased hit chance together, you're going to miss every time. So like, yeah, remember that stuff. In Wyvern, forget about it. Like, that hero, I would just turn off her skills and put Cyruran if I decided to use her. But there are better heroes, like 3-star Misty Chain is going to do much better than that hero, really. She's hard to build to be very good, right? Base speed at 106. That is low, man. Because, you know, speed meta heroes, they have 114 to 128. Base speed 129 if you count Kairon. I will try her as a damage dealer. Not saying that that's how she's supposed to be built, because I try pretty much most of the heroes as a damage dealer. The Mage, so could give it a shot, right? If you pick her too early on in RTA and they start picking a bunch of Earth heroes, then boom, that's already a massive problem. So pick her later in RTA. Don't pick her too early on. If you do pick her early on, maybe you should go with the Unity artifact or Oath Key, so you don't actually miss that much. That could be a viable option. So counterattacks are also a big problem. Wee guys. That is counter set. That is Elbrus Ritual Sword. That is Martial Artist Ken. That is General Purgus, which is very popular right now in the meta for a good reason. He's amazing. So giving them a bunch of combat shrewdness. Yes, you push back combat shrewdness, but that doesn't get resisted. 15% innate resist. The bane of debuffer's existence. It is rough out there with that 50% innate resist, especially when it's happening like back to back. Yeah, it's definitely rough. On paper, a lot of times it looks good, right? But when you test it out, it might be like not that good, right? So that's why I advise you to check my showcase. Definitely stay tuned for that. Press that bell notification if you're subscribed, or if you still haven't like subscribed, you probably should. And press that bell notification if you still haven't, so you don't miss a thing. So expect the showcase for this hero. I'll try her in all places, right? Arena, World Arena RTA, Guild Wars. I'll try her in PvE later on too. Yeah, I mean, she can be used in PvE content. Yeah, I can see her being used in the Abyss. I can see her used in all of Trials and Expedition. Doesn't mean she's going to be great for that, but she can definitely be used there. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what you guys think about this hero in the comment section, right? So, yeah, let us know your thoughts about her. Personally, well, you know what I think about her, but my thoughts will change as I showcase her. That's just how it works. So EDA looking like a solid hero. So can't wait to showcase her. Not sure which account I'll do it on, but yes, follow me on Twitch if you still haven't, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Maybe learned something. You know, much appreciated if you did. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.